We have not talked about Walking Dead at all, and we've talked about talking about Walking
Don't
Dead. Have you
talk
been
about
watching?
last night.
I didn't watch last night either. So
Okay,
we're
good. All right. Otherwise, yeah, I'm good to go. But last night, we were so fucking pissed because we clicked on to make sure it was recording, and we saw that it was recording, but for some reason at 10 o'clock or whatever, after we got the kids home and we got back to the house and got settled in and we're sitting on the couch when I go to play it, and it recorded like 30 seconds of it.
Damn.
For whatever reason, but it showed that it was recording the entire time. It shows that the recording is an hour and 2 minutes long, and for whatever reason, when I clicked play, it's only 30 seconds. The first 30, not even the first 30 seconds, it's the last 30 seconds, and it's actually the dude from Talking Dead getting ready to go into the episode of Talking Dead. And I was like, what the fuck? I was so pissed.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And there's only like 2 more episodes left before they go on their hiatus, which pisses me off. But we won't get into that because we've talked about that before. But
I love Chris
anyway.
Hardwick, the guy who hosts Talking Dead.
I do too.
I listen to his podcast. I
didn't know he had a podcast.
Yeah, it's called Nerdist. He has a whole like podcasting and media empire called Nerdist.
Really?
They have a YouTube channel. He plays. His dad was a professional bowler, so he's a kick-ass bowler.
Really?
He is great. He has a show on his YouTube, on the Nerdist YouTube channel called Celebrity Bowling, and he gets a bunch of like TV casts and like movie people on, and they fucking bowl each other. He had the Workaholics guys on there. He had like the Mad Men guys on there, Walking Dead people, all kinds of people. Breaking Bad.
Really?
It's awesome. Chris Hardwick's a man. Anyway,
I'm going to text this to myself real quick so I remember to look for it.
he started. He knows that. Like, this is how cool he is. He knows that DVRs fuck up all the time and that they pick up the beginning of Talking Dead. And so he's like, he like tells people, he's like, hey, man, like, turn it off right now.
Spoiler alert.
Stop it.
Yep.
Like, because I understand that DVRs screw up all the time and, like, we spoil things for people. So as of right now, I'm going to start talking. And he's awesome. I love Chris Hardwick.
Real quick, I'm sorry. You said it's called the Nerdist?
Nerdist, just Nerdist. I recommend it for anybody watching right now.
Okay.
Nerdist does some great stuff.
Because you know I love listening to podcasts. So
Nerdist is the podcast. He has all kinds of celebrity guests. All
Okay.
kinds. Like every episode is a different celebrity guest most of the time. But the YouTube channel's great.
yeah, I didn't know that he had I didn't know he had a podcast. So that's exciting because I'll listen. I listen to probably 2 or 3 podcasts every day.
Oh yeah, I love podcasts. I mean, that's why we make them, right?
Right.
But Walking Dead, I have not seen the new episode. So, what is this? Episode 14 that was on last night.
Last night was 14.
So we will not be talking about episode 14.
Right.
But up until that point, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, this is Walking Dead. This is Jay and Mark's version of Talking Dead, but with not cool celebrity guests.
Yeah.
We're going to
Unless you
spoil
count
things.
Mr. Rick Grimes.
And actually, the entire cast.
The entire cast is our guest today.
Even the dead ones. No. But,
Oh yeah, even the dead ones.
what do you think of this season so far?
I fucking love it. I think this is one of my favorite seasons of all of them.
It's definitely gotten better. The last 2 seasons were really slow.
Right. Well, and that's I think we talked about this before, where the seasons start out really good, and then it's like some of the other episodes are just like filler episodes while they're trying to put together really good episodes for the future. And you sit there and you watch it and you think, by the end, you think that was terrible and nothing happened. And then, like, usually after their hiatus, they come back and there's like really good, just like explosive episodes that you just get super pumped about.
Yeah.
And then
it's slow as shit for like 3 episodes.
and then the season's over and you got to wait another 8 months for it to come back.
It seems
and
that all
that drives me nuts.
For like 2 to 3 seasons, it seems, because they started doing that mid-season hiatus bullshit. But I understand why they do it.
Blah blah blah.
But they started doing that. It seemed to me that like the first 2 episodes of the season were awesome and wrapped up the last 2 episodes of last season, because they usually left it on like a cliffhanger type note. Then they'd go on up until the last episode before the hiatus, and it would just be the slowest, most boring shit ever. Almost like they didn't know what to do, and they were just leading you into this big thing to keep you hooked.
Right.
Like almost like they lost all their good writers or something, and they were just like, all right, we're going to save the good shit to keep people hooked. And then they'd go on hiatus, they'd come back, they'd wrap up whatever happened in that first episode, then it'd be slow as shit for like 4 or 5 episodes, and then they'd make some big stuff happen in the last 2, leave a cliffhanger, and then do it all over again the next season.
Right.
This season, every episode is leading you somewhere else, and you cannot wait for the next one, dude.
That's what I was gonna say. Every episode this season has just been so good and so on point.
Yep.
That you don't want it to end, and when it ends, you realize, holy shit! I just sat here for an entire hour, and it felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's every episode this season has been so good.
Back to the way it was the first 3 seasons.
And I hate to say it, and
maybe first 2 seasons.
It would piss me off so bad, but I've read and I've seen things that Daryl...
Yeah. Because Glenn's supposed to be killed by Negan in the comic, where he was, and they're saying that that's probably not going to happen, and that's probably going to be Daryl's fate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That would...
People are going to hate that.
Yep.
But
I think that's going to be one of those things that might fuck up the whole show for me.
Well...
To where I just don't get excited to watch it anymore, because Daryl is one of my favorite characters.
The reason people think this, though, is because of things the guy who plays Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln, has said, the things that the girl who plays Maggie, Lauren Cohen, has said, and other cast members have said, like Melissa, whatever her name is, that plays Carol, and other people. Rick said that when he read the script for the last episode of the season, he could not sleep. He was late on set the next day because he couldn't sleep. He was not comfortable with what was going to happen in the last episode. Maggie said that it seemed like everyone on the cast was sick to their stomach when they read the last episode. It took a long time for them to be comfortable with what was going to happen in the last episode.
Right.
So people immediately thought Daryl, because he's probably the most beloved character on the show. He's an original cast member. He's not in the comic books, and they've kept him around. He was supposed to die in the second season, I believe. Maybe the first.
Daryl?
Yeah.
See, I almost wish that would have happened now.
Because then people wouldn't have loved him so much, and it wouldn't be such a loss.
Right.
But do you think the show would be as good as it is without a character like Daryl for people to love?
No, I don't.
Now, Emily, our wonderfully and beautiful production girl over here, had this crazy idea that kind of blew my mind, and she's like, or maybe it's Judith, the baby.
See,
what else would people lose sleep over and not be comfortable with? Not only that, they're probably super... I mean, it basically would be like the same thing with Daryl. They're super attached to Daryl. They're super attached to that baby. I'm sure in real life they are.
Right.
It's probably like a little sister to him or something.
Right. Well, as terrible as this sounds...
I mean, that would be fucked up.
As terrible as this sounds, and I'm going to sound like a huge dick for saying this, but I would much rather see the baby die than Daryl die. Because, well,
no, I totally see why you say that.
Let me say this.
So fucked up.
But because in this world, that baby has to rely on everybody else to protect it.
Yep.
Daryl can take care of himself, and I hate to put it this way, but that the baby is... What's the word I'm looking for? The baby is more of a...
the baby's expendable.
Yeah.
On the show...
I'm trying to think of the word.
Thinking, like, not... in.
There you go. The baby is more of a liability.
I was thinking more like reality. The baby really isn't a huge character. She doesn't have lines. Recently, she actually started acting a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it would be sad if the baby dies. Because... and I guess...
But
along with that, it's also... kind of an end to, and I don't remember what Rick's wife's name was, but it's kind of an end to that whole story where she's gone, the baby's gone.
Sorry, everyone.
It's Rick and it's Coral. And that's it. Okay. Carl, I couldn't stand that fucking kid at the beginning.
Yeah, he was a little
shit.
And
that goofy ass stupid hat that he's wearing of his dad's, he looks...
See, I don't mind the hat because the hat is part of the character. It's in the comic books.
Right.
I think that motherfucker needs to get rid of those stupid bangs.
I agree with that, too.
God, just let your hair grow, kid.
Right.
I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse. You're cutting them bangs like that.
Right.
And they are not working, bro. I mean, I dig long hair, but, dude, lose the bangs.
Daryl
looks goofy.
Daryl can take care of himself, and I love that character. And I'm also a huge fan of Norman Reedus, as you know, from
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints.
Everybody loves Boondock Saints, which I'm
Right.
still waiting for the third flick.
I'm a huge. When I saw that Norman Reedus was going to be on this show years ago, I was so fucking pumped to see him do something else.
Yeah, most people didn't even know who he was, and I was like, "That's my dude,
Right.
from Boondock Saints." He was my favorite Boondock Saint.
You're mine too. If they
Enough
kill
said.
him off, it was almost like there was nothing more we needed to say.
And I really enjoyed the
But-
second one too. A lot of people didn't, but I really enjoyed the second.
I
Boondock
liked
Saint.
the second one, but I think they tried a little too hard.
He was trying to
but-
capture the same magic. It was a little overacted sometimes, but
Right.
like I love the setup at the end. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but
Right.
it was great.
I
I really enjoyed it.
Daryl can take care of himself. The baby cannot.
No.
It would almost be better, and like I said, I hate to say it, but it would almost be better for the group all the way around if the baby died.
Yeah.
It would
mean,
be
I
a
see what
terrible
you're saying.
thing, and I'm sure that every cast member on there is attached to that baby,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it would be better for the group as a whole if the baby died instead of Daryl.
No, I mean I
know
see what you
that's
mean.
a terrible thing to
Well,
say.
no, I mean it's the same thing with the kid of Alexandra Breckenridge, I believe, the chick that played Rick's love interest, the blonde. She was on American Horror Story. She was the hot redheaded maid. That was actually old, but like
yeah.
the guy saw her as a young hot chick.
Yep.
And with her kid, he was a liability. I mean, in that last episode before the mid-season hiatus, as they were walking through the
Wait,
zombies,
that was her?
and he needed. Yeah, that was her. She was also on Freaks and Geeks.
I
If
didn't
anybody
even-
watched
I
that
didn't
show,
even realize
she was one of
that.
the mathletes that Lindsay Weir was like battling with.
I didn't even realize that's who that was.
But yeah, and but like her kid, who ended up getting eaten when she did.
Right.
Spoiler alert! You already know this. There's going to be spoilers in this. Up to episode 14. But he was a liability. That little shit talked 15 feet out the door.
Right.
Mom, like, kid,
Right.
if you're that scared, you're not going to be talking. What the hell is wrong with you?
Right.
Somehow they didn't explain how they survived that either.
Right.
They never explained that. That was done and over with. Like, did she just like bitch smack him real quick and
Right.
he shut up? And the zombies, I mean, they can't have the best hearing, right? But they can fucking hear the slightest little like twig snap or like leaves rustling,
Right.
like, which never made sense. They need to explain a little more of the biology of how the zombies are working. I mean, fuck. But yeah, I could see what you're saying, and it's kind of the same deal as that kid.
But I can also remember, and I think it was season 3 at the end of season 3 when Herschel died.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Was that 3?
I think it was season 3, wasn't it?
What are we on 6? I think
We're
that
on
was. I think
6.
that might have been 4. I don't know. If
Well,
you know,
anyway,
tell us in the
but
comments.
you know the season finale where Herschel died.
Yeah, with the
There
got
was
the,
I remember
the sword
I can
to the head.
remember other cast members talking about how they felt the same way about when they read the script when Herschel was going to die. So it could be it could be anybody. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody liked Herschel.
Shit.
Everybody loved Herschel, but at the same time, Herschel was a character that he could go and it wouldn't really affect too much of people's opinions of the show.
No, I understand. I mean, shit. For all we know, it could still be Glenn. Like, I don't know why everybody. I mean, I'm sure they have reasons. I just can't remember what I read why they think Glenn isn't the one.
Right.
But probably because of the whole setup for the baby and everything. But wouldn't that be devastating if Glenn died before his baby was even born and shit? Like,
That would
I
suck.
mean, Glenn's the one he kills with the baseball bat named Lucille, and there's a lot of references to bats in the most recent episode, like bats. Like when Daryl blows up the saviors on the motorcycle or whatever. He said, usually we pop somebody right off the bat. I don't know if you saw that somebody pointed out that right before Daryl sets off that missile launcher and explodes, right before the explosion, you see a truck pull up in the background and stop. He saw it all. That's why they're saying Negan is going to kill Daryl, because Negan saw Daryl do that shit, and he's pissed. You kill my boys. But at this point,
well, they've killed most of the saviors.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, which was a great episode.
That was a great episode.
The episode after that with Carol and Maggie being captured by those people, that was a great episode. And I don't know if you saw this, but in the set that they were mostly on, that room where they were locked in and Carol was going through, I'm just a little old housewife who got beat,
Right.
was the same set they used on Saw. Same exact set.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. They just dinsed it up, gave it a green-brown tint instead of a blue tint. And, I mean, obviously the guy wasn't, that's from Saw, but like that's
Right.
just to show you that it's the same set.
Although it looks like Maggie's got him by the legs.
It does, but that's just because they overlapped him in there. But I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I didn't notice that, and I'm glad somebody pointed that out because you could plainly see it is the same. I mean, they changed a couple things, obviously, but same setup. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even catch that.
I don't know if there's anything else though I wanted to say about Walking Dead, but that's how we feel so far, I guess, about the most recent season of The Walking Dead.
And I'm hoping that last night's episode is on demand today, because if it's not, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, if you want, I have it. We can watch it before you go.
If I watch it without Jen, she'll kill me.
Okay, all right, never mind. All right, but I mean, with that's The Walking Dead talk. We'll try to stay on it, even though there's only 2 episodes left. This might be the only time this season we talk about Walking Dead, but at least we got it in there. Nick, I know you're happy, because I talked to you the other day about how we...
Have you watched Better Call Saul? The spinoff from Breaking Bad?
I haven't seen any of the new season, but I love the first season.
Watch it.
I will.
This
I'm
season,
trying to get all done with
first season-
Daredevil season 2, and then I'm going to get on that.
Yep, first season, was kind of slow, getting
I
into
love the
things.
first season. I know all about the first season.
I loved the first season too, but it was, you got to admit, it was kind of slow getting,
but it's all
everything
set
going.
up, man.
Second season is great.
Yeah.
So maybe when Walking Dead's over, we can do our Talking Saul.
I like that.
I
I'm
can't
surprised
take
Chris
credit
Hardwick
for that.
doesn't do that
No,
already.
I can't take credit for that because after the very first episode this season, Chris Hardwick
Oh,
did
really?
do an episode of Talking
Just
Saul.
one?
There was only one.
Really?
Yep.
Maybe it'll be more of a thing after this.